Hey there, welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this complete automation within Make.com, which will get a list of contacts from Google Sheets and do research on the company and job title, then create a professional PR pitch in this particular case using ChatGPT, and then send the email in HTML. In order to start building the automation, what I want to do is to drop in a Google Sheets search rows module. That's the first step. So all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pass in the spreadsheet ID, which is right here, Editorial Directors NYC, and I'm just going to limit it to 1 for testing purposes. But normally I would set this to be, 20 or 50, however many contacts you want to get. In this case, I'm just going to set it to 1, right? Now, the next step is I'm going to build an array out of each one of these contacts in my Google Sheets module, right? So all we're doing here is we're passing in the source module, which is the previous step, and we're selecting the specific rows that we want to build the array out of. So in this case, I just want the first name, email. I could exclude personal email. We'll just put email, organization name, organization website URL, which is going to be helpful for research purposes. And then also the name, which I don't actually need. I'm going to unselect that. And then title, the person's job title. Now, the next step is we're going to pass that into an iterator, which is basically just going to step through each item in the array. And all we have to do there is pass in the array element from the previous step. As you can see, we've got first name, email, organization name, website URL, title, and then a few other things in here, which I just decided to remove. So what that's doing is just stepping through each item in the array. Pretty simple. And then from there, we are calling Perplexity, which is, it's a tool for mostly for doing research and writing papers, that sort of thing. So I'm just using Perplexity. And by the way, in order to add this, you will need to connect up your API key, which you should be able to find out on your own. It's really pretty straightforward. And in this particular case, I'm just calling the Sonar reasoning model. That's the specific model. You could also do deep research as well, but I'm just using the reasoning model. And all we're doing here is we're getting a specific niche for the organization name. So all I want to do is get the niche that they're in, and that will help me to write the specific professional PR pitch in this case. And then the next step is we're going to write the PR pitch. And I can actually just rename this Write PR Pitch. And then for this one, I'm just going to rename it to Research Company. That's it. And you can do this for any number of things. This is just my specific use case. But if you want to do this for something else, then you can follow the exact same automation right here. So all we're doing here is we're just calling ChatGPT 4.0 latest, and we are creating a perfect PR pitch for first name with this job title at the organization name, offering to write an article in the niche research that we have from Perplexity over here, and passing in the message content, which should be the niche, the specific niche that we want to write the PR pitch for. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And then there's a few extra steps if you want to actually send these emails automatically using this template. And by the way, there's a link in the description below if you want to download this template. It's completely free, or pay whatever you want. You're welcome to grab the template and put it into your own Make.com scenario. And then here, basically what we're doing is we're just converting the text into HTML for proper formatting for sending the email. So all we're doing here is we're just passing in the result, which is what was generated using ChatGPT. It's converting it into HTML. And then the last step is obviously sending the email. So all we're doing here is we've already connected up our email account, which is right here. And then we're passing in the email address that we get from the iterator over here. So that's just the specific email we want to send this email to, email address. And here I've just used like a basic subject line. If you want to generate these subject lines, you can also do that as well using like a custom AI assistant or ChatGPT itself. But in this case, I'm just saying, propose media collaborations at, and then I can actually just insert the specific company name right here that we already have within our array. And then all we're doing is we're passing in the HTML that we've gotten from the Markdown module. And if you want to add attachments as well, like let's say you have a media kit, for example, you could add the media kit as an attachment. That's always possible as well. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So it's a pretty straightforward automation. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different modules, actually 6 different modules. And if we want to actually run this, first of all, I'm just going to unlink this step because I don't want to actually send the emails yet. And also, I would recommend adding a sleep module in here as well, so that it doesn't just send the emails one right after the other in rapid succession. You want to actually wait a little bit before sending emails. So I'm just going to type in wait 60 seconds here. And there we go. So now we'll wait 60 seconds between sending each of the emails. And we can see how many different scripts it creates and if it looks right. Because obviously, you don't want to be firing off emails to these publication editors if the PR pitch is not super dialed in. So we need to make sure that it looks right first. So I'm just going to click on run. And as you can see, it's now created the array. It's going through the first item, doing research using Perplexity, and then it's going to write the PR pitch using ChatGPT 4 in this case, and then convert it into HTML, and then it's just going to loop through 5 different contacts from the Google Sheet. So we've got everything that we need to do research on each of these companies, and this is basically just going to save a lot of time going through and manually creating these PR pitches. If there's a way to automate it, I always find a way to do this as much as possible. But I just want to see what it was able to create. So if I come down to choices here, this is the output. I can take a look at the pitch right here. Now, obviously, this first step right here, we don't want to include any of that in the actual email body. We want to start here, Dear Lisa, right? That just inserts their first name. I hope this email finds you well. I've been very good right off the bat. I've been a follower of Beat TV's work and deeply respect your commitment to advancing the conversation around the future of television advertising. So that's the specific niche they're in. And then it goes on to say, I love to propose a contributed article for your consideration titled, and it even comes up with the title right here, which is excellent. This piece would unpack how the convergence of, now again, it's too wordy. It needs to be in simple, easy to understand format. Here, I want to actually add something to this prompt right here. So make sure not to include, let's say make sure to write it in language typically 5th to 7th grade, right? A 7th grader could understand. We want to make it the easier to understand, the better. And do not, let's make that capitalized, include any subject line or additional information other than the email body itself. That way, it's just going to create the email body, no subject line, nothing else. So let's try running this again and see what it comes up with now. Again, it's just getting the first item from my Google Sheet over here, which in this case is an editorial director at Beat TV, which I've never heard of before, but that doesn't really matter. It will automatically do the research using Perplexity. But while that's working, I'm just going to look at the result here. And as you can see, it's also made it a lot shorter now as well, because I told it to write the email in simple language. So all it's saying is, I love to contribute an article tailored to Beat TV's audience, something that breaks down how advertisers in highly specialized industries like happy to share an outline or write a draft for your review. Thanks so much. And then ideally, it would just put the person's name at the end, so we can fix that up as well. But as you can see, it's really pretty easy to create something like this. It doesn't take that long. And here's the next one. So again, hi, Matthew. This is the next person we're working on. I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out because I truly admire the work STAT is doing, making complex medical topics clear. That's not really the specific target market that I want to go after. So I should probably dial in my targeting for my leads a little bit more. But the fact of the matter remains, as you can see, it's just written this entire thing using ChatGPT. And we can take a look at the next one here as well. Hey, Diane, I'm a big fan of Fortune and the amazing work you do bringing smart business stories to life. I know that Fortune focuses on helping leaders grow. Maybe I'd love to write a piece that explores how great managers today aren't just bosses, they're coaches, listeners, and people who help others grow. Let me know if you think this idea would be a fit. I'd be thrilled to write it for you. Now, I don't know if these are perfect pitches or not, but they're good enough, in my personal opinion, and they should get the message across. The most important thing is to actually send the emails, right? If you don't reach out to people, then you're never going to actually hear anything back from them. Here's another one. Hi, James. I hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out to see if there might be an opportunity to contribute an article to Wine Spectator that speaks to your amazing readers. I'd love to pitch a piece that digs into. Now, in this particular case, that's not good because it just says insert a short topic idea here. You may want to basically just put these into an Airtable, for example, rather than sending the emails right away so that you can review them first. Otherwise, it's not going to be professional, right? Because sometimes it will mess something up. So in this case, if I want to, let's say, add this into an Airtable, I can create an Airtable right here. And we're just going to create a new Airtable. And then we're going to add the emails in here first before publishing them. And then we can just go through each one, quickly generate the scripts, and then we can email them individually and fix anything up if it needs to be fixed. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to create a new Airtable. Basically, all we need is the person's first name and then also the company would be nice to have. So we're going to insert the company name and then also the text itself, the email body. Subject line is always going to be the same. So we'll just make this real quick. And then we can also set the status here as well, like to do, in progress, done. And then we can basically just set those easily as well. So we can make these all to do. And if you have any attachments, you can upload the attachments here as well. But I'm just going to delete these. So that's pretty much all there is to it. You can also send an email directly from within an Airtable, but you will need SendGrid in order to do that. It's better to just go through each of them using another automation and just send off the emails. But for now, I just want to create this Airtable, and we can come back over to the automation real quick and pull this in. So I'm just going to hit refresh, and it should pull it in right away. I'll search for editor here. There we go, editor emails. And then the table, which is just table 1. And then as you can see here, we've got all of the fields in here. So now in this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to pass in the person's first name. We're going to pass in the company. I could also include the email address, which would be good to have as well, because we may want to go through and actually send emails to these people later. So I'm just going to copy this field and we're going to enter the person's email. So there it is. That's the email address. Let's try this again. That would be the email field. So we're going to have email address and then also email copy or email body, whatever you want to put here. And that's going to be long text. And in this case, it will be HTML. So I just put the HTML straight in there. We'll come back over to our automation, and I'm just going to refresh this once again so it pulls in the new fields. There we go. And we're going to pass in the email address for later use. And then that's just going to be the HTML email body that we've already created there. So now we've got first name, company, email address, and the email body. And we can also set the status here as well. So we're just going to make all of them to do. And then we can always change them to done later once we've sent the emails. So I think this is going to be a better strategy rather than sending the emails directly, because there may be some things that we need to fix up. And that will just allow us to fine tune the scripts before actually firing off the emails. And nice thing about this as well is that we don't have to wait between each step. We can just go through and quickly add all of these into Airtable, which I highly recommend using. It's a lot better than Google Sheets in a lot of ways. And now it's just going to put 20 rows into the array. As you can see, here's all of the rows. They're just collected into little bundles here. And then it's just going to write all of the scripts and put them into Airtable quickly and easily. So I don't have to write them all manually. I could use this automation to do it for me. And so there we go. So now it's working on the next step, doing the research. And if I come over here, you will see there's the entire script in HTML. So I don't have to convert it into HTML again. It's already in HTML. Now, as you can see here, it just added another person into the sheet right here. I hope you're well. I'm reaching out, blah, 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 blah. There's the entire PR pitch. And we're just going to generate 20 of these. So we'll come back over to the automation. Looks like it's working on the third one. And there it is. This one's to Fortune magazine. Hope you're doing well. I'm reaching out because I'd love to contribute an article to Fortune that would speak directly to your audience of business leaders and forward-thinking professionals. Right there. Now, if we don't want to format this as HTML, we can also just do that as well. I don't think it really makes sense to format this as HTML in this particular case. So I could actually just remove that. And then we could format it into HTML at a later stage. It doesn't really need to be HTML right now. So yeah, if we want to do that over again, we could just run this again and it will create all of the rows. I'm actually just going to delete these. So let's just try that again. And it will do the exact same thing. But I do need to fix up something here in the Airtable because this is no longer the right data. It would be the ChatGPT result right here. There we go. So now it's just going to do all the research, create the PR scripts, and then it's just a matter of automating this process again or doing it manually. I think it makes a lot of sense to just automate it and go through and send all these emails directly from Airtable, which is pretty straightforward, doesn't really take that long. So hopefully you've enjoyed this particular video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Please go ahead and check out my Skool community. We've got 860 members in here at the time of recording, and it's growing fast. I provide a lot of value in here, and we also have a classroom where I give away tutorials, courses, templates, and lots more. It's completely free to join. We'd love to see you inside the community. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching. Signing off. Take care. Stay safe. Peace from Thailand.